Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium. Alabama drops a heartbreaker to the Auburn Tigers 48-45. I want to talk about the game stats, key plays, takeaways following Alabama's second loss of the season. Alabama ends the regular season 10-2, Auburn 9-3. Let's start out with Mac Jones. 26-39 on the evening, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. What is your take on how he played tonight? Nick Saban said he played well. I'm curious to get your thoughts in the comment box on how Mac Jones performed tonight in a big-time game, because that was one of our questions coming into this matchup. How would Mac Jones do against a quality team, against an A+ defense, against a superior defense, in my opinion, the best defense in all of college football? Tonight, I thought for the most part, especially in the first quarter, Alabama pretty much handcuffed him. Maybe they just didn't have confidence in him after all. The pick six that he threw, that was 100 yards. My goodness, I felt a terrible play call by Sarkisian, right? First and goal from the 1 yard line, Najee Harris playing like a man on fire, and you throw the football. Didn't like that play. Mac Jones had another interception that went for a touchdown, and I felt that throw just, it lacked velocity, and Auburn read him the entire way. That comes from playing against a good defense, and I thought Mac Jones, he could have folded. Alabama could have folded, and they could have pulled him out and put in Talia Tagovailoa, but they stuck with Mac Jones throughout the night and came back and threw 4 touchdowns tonight. Quarterback rating not that high, 66.4, but this is his first time performing against a team like Auburn. And I said this earlier, and I said this many times. I felt like Mac Jones is interviewing for the job for next season. Do you think he earned that job for next season? Do you think we're going to find out in the bowl game? You're not going to see another defense like Auburn's for quite some time. that was a really good defense, outstanding on all fronts. The defensive line, linebackers, the secondary, that's a very veteran defense. And threw two pick sixes that very costly. Cannot give up points, especially to a defense like that. Najee Harris, I thought he played fantastic on the night. Played like a man on fire. I was kind of surprised, that he only ended up with 146 yards. It kind of felt like he was on pace for 200 or 250, right? 27 carries. Played like an absolute beast. And really the end performance of the season for Najee Harris has certainly earned him quite a bit of money in the NFL. Played like a big-time NFL back tonight. I thought he did exceptional throughout the night. Longest to 23 yards. He was hurdling guys. He was running over guys. He was running through guys in big-time competition. So Najee Harris certainly ends with a monster season, just 4 yards away from the 150-yard mark. Receiving-wise, Henry Ruggs hauled in 6 receptions, 99 yards. Jalen Waddle, 98 yards. Devontae Smith, 80 yards. Najee Harris also had 26 yards. Jerry Jeudy, surprisingly, 5 receptions, just 26 yards. How about Jalen Waddle? The performance of him, just fantastic. 230 all-purpose yards with 4 touchdowns. The play where he returned the kick 99 yards for a touchdown, that was really a monumental save because Alabama really had no momentum, especially after that pick six early in the first half. And Waddle comes down, returns the kick for a touchdown. How fast was he on that play, right? There were some guys from Auburn that were close to catching him, and those guys must be extremely fast, but that's like chasing a cheetah. My goodness. Just completely balled out, had a longest tonight of 58 yards. I think, a superhero has been named, and I think we all knew it. I think we all were talking about Jalen Waddle being an X factor, and I think going forward he needs the football as many times as possible because he is just electric, and it's almost like every time he touches the football he's going to make something happen. And tonight, he certainly did that. 98 yards receiving with a 99-yard kick return. Just an incredible performance by Jalen Waddle. Thankfully for Alabama Crimson Tide fans, he is only a sophomore, so he's going to be returning for the 2020 season. Leading tacklers for Alabama, Raekwon Davis had 8 tackles. Xavier McKinney had 8 tackles. Shane Lee, Anthony Jennings, 7 tackles, 6 tackles. Now let's kind of cruise over and look at some of the scoring plays and kind of talk about this game and provide some takeaways. Early in the first quarter, it ended with Auburn leading 7-3. Thought that was a game with a lot of defense from Auburn, right? I don't think Mac Jones was ever in a rhythm at that point. I think they were kind of like punchers, just kind of filling each other out. The second quarter, my goodness, was that a second quarter? Talk about 48 total points scored in that second quarter. The Vegas line was 50 total for the game, right? Second quarter, Najee Harris got a 6-yard touchdown. Auburn answers back with a 43-yard field goal. Auburn then scores off that pick six to make it 17-10. Jalen Waddle then with a 98-yard kick return, thought it was 99, to make it 17-17. Henry Ruggs then caught a touchdown pass from Mac Jones. I thought that play, by the way, was a really nice design inside the red zone. I don't like the call to throw it to Najee, but I did like this call. Henry Ruggs hauls in a 3-yard reception to make it 24-17. How about this catch from Sal Cannella from Bo Nix? I mean, that was incredible. You're an Alabama fan or not, or Auburn fan or not, that was just an incredible catch by that young man, keeping his toes in bounds. 24-24. Still in the second quarter, 58-yard touchdown to the house from Jalen Waddle to make it 31-24. And then that field goal where Saban said that the time had expired, 52 yards, right, by Anders Carlson to make it 31-27 at the half. Come out, Carlson hits another 43-yard field goal to give Alabama still had the lead at that point, 31-30, and then it was a 100-yard interception return on that pick six to make it 37-31. Like I said, I keep talking about that play. Two pick sixes, you just can't do it, and that led to Auburn leading this game 37-31. Alabama showed resiliency, came back with a 12-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle to make it 38-37. Carlson kicks another field goal, this time 44 yards out to make it 40-38. Now we're in the fourth quarter. Jalen Waddle, surprise, surprise, 28-yard touchdown pass from Mac Jones makes it 45-40. And then Bo Nix throws a touchdown pass to Sean Shavers to make it 48-45. Alabama goes down, tries to hit a field goal to tie it, hits the upright, and this team completely cursed at kicking field goals, extra points. I've never seen anything like it. Joseph Bolivas hits the goalpost. Think about it. That's actually harder to do than to actually just make the field goals, to hit the post. You go out there and you're like, hit the post, you're never going to do it. Alabama does it frequently. It was a monumental miss, and Auburn hangs on for the victory, 48-45. There was that time Alabama did have 2 timeouts, and they did stop Auburn, but the substitution infraction there at the end of the game, a lot of confusion. Saban wasn't happy about the call, and in the end, Auburn hangs on 48-45. Alabama had 28 first downs to Auburn's 23. Their down efficiency, Alabama was 6 for 14. Auburn not that much better, 5 of 13. Total yards for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Check this out. 515 yards total offense to Auburn's 354. Rushing-wise, Alabama had 180. Auburn had 181. Penalties, Alabama, season high, 13 penalties, 96 yards. Auburn had 9 penalties for 60 yards. Turnovers will kill you. 2 turnovers for Alabama and just 1 for Auburn. And time of possession, Alabama had the ball for 35 minutes of this game compared to Auburn's 24. Just a heartbreaking loss for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, I think overall, when you look at this game, I think some takeaways for me. Number one, like I said, Mac Jones, I think that, I think the quarterback position going forward is still open. Yes, he did throw 4 touchdowns today, but is he really the guy? I think he really needs to prove it in the bowl game and going forward. I think there's going to be a lot of quarterback competition going into the springtime. I think Talia is going to fight for that spot. I think Bryce Young coming in is certainly going to fight for that spot, and I already told you what I think Tua's going to do. Can't leave money on the table. I think Mac Jones had an opportunity to win that job. I'm not knocking on Mac Jones. I'm not knocking on him at all. I just think that the quarterback position is still wide open. I think that Alabama still needs to have more confidence in him. And that first quarter, it showed that, to me at least, that they didn't have confidence in him. And I get it, going up against Auburn's defense, you don't want to make costly turnovers, but guess what? I think they played scared, and 2 pick sixes. Other takeaways, Najee Harris played like a man on fire. I already said that. 146 yards, just an incredible performance tonight. What an exceptional running back that he turned into towards the later part of the season. I thought he was extremely dynamic, everything that you want in a hard-nosed running back. Jalen Waddle, I think a star was certainly born. I think, and we all knew that, right? It was just a matter of getting him the football and getting him to really showcase his abilities. But talk about a breakout performance, 230 yards with 4 touchdowns. On the defensive side, did you know this? This is the most points that Saban has ever allowed, ever. 48 points. a lot comes back to the defense, right? I think we all knew that the Achilles heel for this team was Tua Tagovailoa, and then it turned out to be the defense and the inside linebackers and that middle of the defense really never being able to grow up, and teams taking advantage of Alabama on the defensive side of the ball. And that's what we saw tonight. I mean, Gus Malzahn and Bo Nix. I mean, the other thing about Bo Nix was he really played opportunistic, right? Almost lucky at times, throwing the ball up and the Auburn receivers coming down with the football. Just a tough way to go out for Alabama to end this regular season. By the way, this was the first time under Saban that a regular season team has lost 2 games. That's unbelievable. So what does it mean going forward? Well, Alabama's certainly not going to the playoffs. It was the first time since the playoffs was started that Alabama will not be part of the playoffs. So you're looking at either the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl, and that will, we'll have to, see what happens in terms of if they're going to Miami or to New Orleans. And I'm kind of curious to see what juniors are going to forego and, not play in this bowl game. I think there's a lot of guys that, looking at this team that are not going to play in that bowl game, and that's certainly something that we're going to provide coverage on going forward. I want to hear from you in the comment box. What do you think led to Alabama's 48-45 loss to Auburn? Was it strictly defense? Was it turnovers? Was it mental errors? Was it all of the above? Was it the missed field goal from Joseph Bolovas? Sound off in the comment box. I will catch up with you guys on my Sunday night call-in show. Be sure and hit me up Sunday evening, 8:30 Central Time. I want to get your calls, talk about this game, break it down. Coming to you from Jordan Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. This is Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com.